Hi, welcome back to You Heard It from a CFP. My name is Matthew Coyle. I am a certified financial planner with ACG here in Minneapolis, and today I am back with my good buddy Leo, and Leo and I are going to talk about cars. A couple weeks ago we did a video on buying cars. Today is all about leasing cars. Should you lease a car? What should you be concerned about when leasing a car? And what's the magic number when leasing a car? And hint, it's not the payment. It's hot outside. Leo wants to go in and I'd like to go in too. So let's go back to my office and we'll dive in. Thanks for watching. Okay, we are here to talk about leases and we're back in my office. Thanks for showing up today. And today I'm going to talk about why you would or would not lease a car. So if you believe Experian, the credit bureau, roughly 25% of all cars in the country are leased. Now that by itself is not very surprising or controversial. What is sometimes surprising is that the luxury brands, and this is all the usual suspects, Porsche, Lexus, Audi, Range Rover, you can fill in the rest. In many cases, upwards of 70% of those cars sold today are through lease contracts. So chances are this video might apply to you. Maybe you're thinking of buying a car in a lease. Maybe you're thinking of buying a car traditionally. This might help you understand the difference in how these things are calculated. So the basic tenets of a lease are not that complicated. You essentially are renting the car for 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, whatever the deal is. And instead of you taking the depreciation as an owner, you are effectively agreeing to finance the depreciation for the dealer. That is basically the agreement that you have entered into. And it's a very common thing. Lots of things are leased. Car leases happen to be the most common lease in America, but these, anything can be leased. It's just a rental agreement. But the mathematics come into play as to what you're paying and the decision you have to make, should you lease or should you not lease. So let's dive into those numbers. Okay, so let's do an actual example, an actual lease example, rather than me making up the data. I just thought I'd go to a common website that sells cars. I went to Ford's website and looked up a very common vehicle, the Ford F-150. Shout out to Ford, but I received no compensation, full disclosure, for this video. I went and I looked up a Ford F-150 and they are currently, for my zip code, offering the following lease. 2021 Ford F-150, $369 per month, 24 months, $43.09 cash due at signing. So is this a good deal? Is it not a good deal? Well, we need to find out three things, and we can make an assumption on the fourth if we really want to see if this is a good deal. Number one, we need to know the value of the car if we just bought it. Number two, we need to know the term of the lease, which is easy to identify. It's right there in the title. We need the monthly payments, of course, which we have. And of course, we need the residual value of the car. Now this requires an assumption, but we can safely say the car will be worth after 24 months, maybe 70% of its original value. And this may drive what we pay on the lease, no pun intended. So if we have those values, we can figure out the magic number. And the magic number drives what the cost of this lease is for you. So let's run those numbers right now. Okay, so how do we determine whether or not this is a good deal? In order to do that, we need to calculate something called the money factor. Now, the money factor is what I like to call the magic number on a lease, but it's very simple to calculate, and it's actually listed on any lease that you do sign. Many people don't see it. Many people see it and mistake it for their annual percentage rate, which is unfortunate, but we can calculate it, and I will explain why it matters. So the money factor is simply calculated, and I'll put it on the screen here for us. The money factor is calculated by the total of your payments over the term of the lease, which in this case is $8,856, divided by the agreed upon retail value of the car plus the residual value, or the assumed residual value, multiplied by the term, and in this case it's 0.0071. Now why does 0.0071 matter? Well, 0.0071 matters because in this case, and in any case on any lease for anything ever leased, you can take the money factor, multiply it by 2,400, and you'll get your annual percentage rate. And you will know exactly what you're being charged on this lease. Now in this case, I've got the numbers here on my laptop, and if you multiply this 0.0071 by 2,400, you will get 16.99% is what you are being charged on this lease. So this is a very expensive proposition from an annual percentage rate point of view. Now, is this a good deal or not really depends on your situation. If you are unsure you want to own a Ford F-150, again, no offense to Ford, it's a great vehicle, and I'm sure many of you have owned one, but if you're unsure you want to wind up being the owner of it, then maybe perhaps this is a way to go. If you are someone who wants a low monthly payment and you're willing to pay a higher rate to get it, this is also a way to go for you. If you're unwilling to pay that high of a rate for a loan, and this is a loan, they are liabilities, then you would not want to pay 16.99% for a car loan when effectively you could get it for somewhere between 2 to 5% perhaps if you bought the car outright. So it really does depend on your situation, but you need to know what you're being charged on these leases because there are so many of them out there. So let's wrap this all up. What does it mean? How can you calculate it? Well, we went over that, but what does this mean in the grand scheme when you're making a purchase decision or a lease decision? Okay, so let's put a bow on this, we'll wrap it up and talk about what it all means. Well, in short, it means that leases are a very expensive way to secure a car. If you're looking for a short-term situation, you don't know whether you want to own the car, it might be a nice thing for you to do. Buying a new or used car right now is very expensive. I covered this in a video 2 weeks ago. Please check out our channel if you want to go back and see that. Right now, my best advice to you would be to do nothing. Wait 6 to 12 months if you possibly can. Leases are a very expensive proposition. The car market right now is a very expensive proposition, but at least you now know how to calculate what you are being charged, and that's very important. Leases do not fall in full under the Fair Lending Act, the Truth in Lending Act, and so they're not really required to tell you what you're paying on a lease. But now you know how to calculate it, so I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please let us know. And again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.